This is going to be your best
Listen.
podcast ever.
Epicurean, but OFC and pink lemonade's pretty damn good. It'll put your boat in the marsh. Jesus did not die so you could eat yellow number 5. Excitable.
The nose starts off gentle with noticeable sense of grain that takes shape in the form of fresh baked bread.
Ma'am, you're in the wrong podcast. Educated-ish. I have used the term overproof for so long without really knowing what it
constitutes.
Because for
Is
me,
there a definition officially?
Welcome to Bitches and Bourbon.
And we're live. Hello, Reba. How are you?
Hello.
How are you?
I'm not in bed with this shitty weather.
It is terrible.
Yes.
Like, May has been disrespectful
Yes.
so far, I would have to say. Like, you're in a sweater.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a light one, but it's just what I've been all day. It's like you want to be curled up with a blanket, doing nothing, and blah.
Except for it's May.
Right. Like, I just had a thing pop up on my phone, like, and I mean, don't get me wrong, like, we've had some nice temperatures, but like it popped up like where it was 95 this time, before. I'm over the weather, and if I'm not in bed, at least I have a drink, so I'm ready.
I love that. You know what? We're gonna do this a little different today. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And then we'll get back to your regularly scheduled program. That's hot.
Woo, 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 woo.
It's tasty,
Chills.
but it's hot. What did we put in there? Okay, so
What is in there?
what is in that? So
How many episodes?
not that many, which is what's kind of crazy. Oh, and it's real warm right there in that sternum. My bread in my bread basket is burnt. It is absolutely
Tiny
burnt.
taste.
All right, so now we'll back up a little bit.
What are we drinking?
And if you listened to the last episode recently, you will
I
have
can, like, breathe fire.
So, if you listened to the last episode recently, you're probably experiencing a little bit of a time warp because it was the beginning of March. And now we're sitting here talking about the weather in May. But only 2 weeks in podcast world has passed. And if you've been listening to us for any period of time at all, you know that's because I hit finals. Mm-hmm. And when I hit finals, things go all apeshit crazy.
You survived!
I did! Woo! And I graduate on Tuesday, bitches.
Yeah.
So what we've decided to do tonight, because we really just wanted to get together, is we're just drinking the infinity bottle tonight. And I'm really not sure what's in there. Because I don't think that we didn't put a whole lot of stuff in there. Because for season 4, and we don't really too much call them seasons right this second, because we're kind of playing with the format and how we number the episodes and those kind of things. But I didn't think that we had put anything in here that was it maybe the Rowan's Creeks got it spicy like that?
How many episodes have we done since the scotch?
None that we put anything in because it was the cocktail one. But we didn't put the scotch in there, I didn't think. Did we?
I thought we put at least one in.
Maybe we did.
I thought we put at least one of the more mellow ones in there.
Well, and it may just still be aftershock from the Pinhook High Proof.
It's
in there.
definitely got a fucking
It's
kick
warm.
to it.
It's warm. So what we're doing tonight is we didn't research any new bottles for you. We were just going to probably talk about the Infinity Bottle episodes that are coming up soon because I had another bright idea, and if that works, I don't know, but we'll talk about that here in a little bit too. But first, before we go any further, we are drinking the Infinity Bottle. It's going to need some ice fairly quickly. So if you will give me 2 seconds, I am going to go ahead and do that.
Please.
That is my favorite.
Bring us back in on the right note.
All right, and so now I will stop being so rude because we've kind of gotten all sideways. We have a guest today. Yay! So you've heard me talk about my Ireland trip. So when I was in Ireland, I had the fortune and she had the misfortune. And we were roommates. And so, Hannah, welcome to Bitches and Bourbon.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here, and I think the only misfortune was hearing you walk around at 5 a.m. every morning. But other than that, it was a wonderful trip. I really enjoyed hanging out with you.
Ireland was great.
It was amazing.
We had such a good time.
Oh yeah.
And so, in honor of our Irish togetherness, you have decided that you were going to try the Jameson Cold Brew.
Oh yeah. I had to get on that Jameson train.
And
It's delicious. It's very smooth. It's a lot smoother than I thought it would be.
the Jameson Cold Brew
smoother
is...
than this.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, we have it on ice now.
Yeah.
Have you tried it yet
No,
on
not
ice?
yet. Just giving it a second to marinade.
You said watered down wrong. That's good. I think that's good.
better.
I think it's good. I like it.
You want to try now?
Nope, I'm good.
You broke Hannah.
There's
I had my one sip.
There's no more fire. There's no more fire.
Are you
And-
sure?
yeah.
I promise. I promise. I wouldn't lie to you.
Hannah's
I don't
gonna
like you
end
enough
up.
to lie to you.
Hannah's gonna end up sleeping in the thing and chair tonight.
Ooh. Nope.
No, there's not fire though, right?
It's not
still,
as bad.
It's still strong, but it's
still
not
strong.
fire.
True.
It's very strong. So, so Hannah is here with us for a couple of reasons. One, because I love her, and two, Hannah graduated from Georgia Southern in December. Congratulations!
I did. Thank you.
And your major was
Just biology, general bio.
but you are now using that degree. You're working.
Yes. Yeah, so I did research as a college student on Spartina alterniflora, which is a marsh grass. Fancy name. Marsh grass, that's what it is. It's a plant. It's a plant. And now I am working as an environmental educator out at Tybee, which is really fun because our Tybee coast has got the most unique animals that you will ever see.
I've seen a lovely variety.
Oh, yeah. Walk
Yes.
around and you'll see everything washed up dead. So there's that. There's
too.
that.
And so Hannah called the other day and she said, "Hey, I really think I would like to do a
Oh, yeah, ecology podcast.
Yeah, and she
out
goes-
about Georgia.
She goes, "How do you do that?" And I was like, "Well, I
Yeah.
can tell you.
Or
Way more fun is you could come out
first-hand experience.
and I'll show you."
Oh, yeah.
Easiest thing in the world, seriously.
Yes.
And I don't know that we've talked about that nearly as enough as we should have on this show for anybody out there that's listening. A podcast is really the easiest shit on the planet. Like, it's really not that hard. You can make it super complicated.
Like, it was a little overwhelming in the very beginning just when you didn't know anything. Like, just trying to figure out which best platforms to use and things like that. But once you get a feel for it, like, it's... whew.
And I think the thing that we did the most right is we never took ourselves that seriously.
No.
Like, when we decided we were going to publish the Bradshaw episode, like, we could publish anything after that shit show, right? Like, when we just decided that we were not going to take ourselves that seriously, we were just going to sit in here and do what it is we do and put it out. And if nobody other than Chuck Johnson is listening to us,
If it ain't fun, we ain't fucking doing it.
yeah, and that's kind of that. I think that's just the best piece of advice I can give is
Yes.
just have a good
Yeah.
time. Don't take yourself super seriously. We've been wrong before.
Yeah.
We've been super right before. We're right more often than we're wrong, and we just stay teachable. And I think that's probably outside of the equipment and the regular stuff. All of it is. The world of podcasting has come so far that none of it's
Yep.
real hard.
And depending on what platforms you use, we've had to learn to overlook stupid people and like comments. Like if you're in a platform, you know, where there's comments filtering and things like that. Just focus on the fun and enjoying yourself and
Having a good time.
yeah.
That was a conversation we had with another friend of mine who wanted to do a podcast, but her podcast was a little more personal in nature. And she said, you know, she was worried about what happens when people start to comment. And she said, what happens if people start? I'm like, oh, it's not if.
Yes.
Yeah,
It
definitely.
doesn't matter.
It is
Definitely.
not if.
It's
It's
a win.
when.
That's everything, though.
Yeah.
I feel like.
And you letting you having to decide like how much you can just ignore and like
Leave it alone.
have someone be a moderator, you know, type thing.
Or just not give a shit, right?
Or I mean, there are there are definitely many avenues that you can use without it having that ability for
Right.
all the commentary and bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, because there's always going to be somebody out there. Like, you can put out the best podcast ever, right? You can be the smartest person
Oh,
on
yeah.
the planet.
Just to troll
And,
on a fucked
yeah, and they're
up
going to
day.
go, oh my God, your third eye is disgusting. It's a different
my
color.
gosh.
And you're like, I don't even have a third eye. Oh, right. Tell me another lie. Like, you're in
gosh.
denial. It's that, it gets that ridiculous. So I guess that's probably like my two top pieces of advice, right? Is just don't take yourself too seriously.
Or anyone else.
Or anyone
But,
else.
Like, that's really
That's it.
covers it all.
So tell me what you envision or how this idea came to be. I'm super interested.
Yeah, so I've actually always been interested in content online. It's the easiest way to learn. It's the easiest way to be entertained. And so I've always been interested in it. And I used to have like a little blog that no longer exists. It's out there somewhere, probably. I don't know where it is. But about animal life. And then I never had an idea where I'm like, what content do I actually want to put out if I put something out? And so I'm working at this Tybee Science Marine Center, and I'm learning all this cool knowledge, and the staff is almost 100% female. So we have an awesome staff, and I'm just learning something every day. You know, you can't get better than that, right? So I was like, beach ecology. We have such a unique coast, and every day there's going to be somebody in this staff that I can invite on my podcast that would love to talk. Because that's what we do. Our job is to talk to the public. And I'm like, why not put that out there? Because for me, it would be fun. It's one of my bucket list items, have a podcast. So I'm doing it for myself just to have fun. Again, not trying to make money or anything like that. Just an idea that popped in my head, and I like to run with ideas these days. So.
I love that. I
Yeah,
love that.
that's
I think
awesome.
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I bet you could even possibly get
Oh.
them to maybe sponsor some of your...
Oh,
Equipment.
maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe. That would be a good idea.
Or we
Get on
have
that
to know.
train.
We have to know a grant writer.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Like I would think there has to be because I
I
mean how
bet
much
you could even find something that intersects both.
Yeah, I mean, because like,
Oh.
I mean, how hard is it? I mean, there's got to be a grand laying around somewhere that you can write a grant for it, and a grand would more than cover everything you see here.
Hello, listeners around the world.
Yeah,
For anyone with connections.
yeah, for real. Like, we need two things. We need you to send us a bottle, and we need you to
Absolutely.
hook Hannah up with this grant to
Yes.
do this. I mean,
It's for educational purposes.
educational. So are we.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I
Have
was
you ever- wait,
thinking.
wait, wait. Have you ever heard of like donors choose?
I have.
Why
There we go.
why haven't we done that?
I'm not.
You
kidding.
just needed me to appear on the scene for those
Why haven't we
ideas
done
to
that?
pop.
Why don't we do a donors choose? We should do that.
Well, we can.
We absolutely should. We're very educational. We are very, very educational.
Yes.
For crying
Hey,
out loud.
And I work on the beach. You can come out to the beach one day and have
We
a
should
beer
do
on
an
the.
episode out there.
Oh yeah.
Look, okay, let me tell you something. I love Tybee. I love Tybee. Let me tell you where I'm not drinking, right?
That's valid.
Let me tell you where
That's
I'm
valid.
not. Let me tell you where I'm like. There is a reason. There's a reason. Like there's a literal brand of Tybee underground that says "Come on vacation, leave on probation."
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Did you know my mom grew up there?
Oh no, I didn't.
Yeah, my mom.
So cool.
Yeah, my mom grew up there. She actually grew up in the house that's owned by the diocese now. So that it's right down. It's a couple blocks down from St. Michael's.
Yep.
And it come to find out, my priest, who interestingly enough was baptized the same day as me, albeit years apart because I'm significantly older than my priest, which is weird. But we love him. But when he would do sabbaticals, he stayed in that house. So when
Oh,
he first
wow.
came to Richmond Hill and we first started talking, we have all of these neat little weird, like, my priest is in my mom's house. And I'm not salty about the fact that we gave the house
Right.
to the diocese. It's fine, and I'm glad Father David got great use out of it. But yeah, so my mom grew up in Tybee. I love Tybee Island. But if I don't have a room or some place to sleep there, and it's illegal to sleep on the beach, so
Yeah,
don't
true.
do it.
Yeah.
Don't do that. So if I don't have a room there, someplace to sleep, then I'll just drink at home, which is my preferred
Yes.
location of partaking
Yes.
to begin with.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm sure there's got to be money laying around
There's gotta
somewhere
be.
because you don't need a whole lot.
Mm-mm, not at all.
Like I probably even went overboard a little in what I spent because I had a website built and those
Yeah.
kind of things because I wanted it.
Right.
But it wasn't because I needed it.
Right.
I just wanted it.
Right.
Right? So, but anywho, I think that's fascinating. Cheers to great ideas.
Cheers.
I love how she said, it's like an all female staff. It's a great place
It's
to work.
amazing.
It's a great place to work.
Oh man.
We love men. We love men. We love men. Speaking of men, Hannah, do we have any men going on?
Not right now, and I'm okay with that.
I'm so nosy.
no, it's good.
Like, so Hannah,
Put you on blast.
I've got my nephew. He's about like 4, and so no.
that is so funny. We really did. We had such a good time in Ireland. Like, we did all the things. We went all the places. It was just. Did you have a favorite part?
Oh gosh.
That's putting her on blast. Like,
All right, so my favorite part of the trip, I would have to say how beautiful it was. Just as a baseline, anywhere we went outside, it was gorgeous. I didn't see any trash ever. It was just a beautiful place. The buildings, the history, but the most fun building I went in had to be the Guinness.
the Guinness.
The Guinness.
We had so much fun.
That was a theme park.
It is. It's like Disney for beer drinkers.
You walk in, and the first thing that's in there is a band that's also a tap dancing group that is like...
It's like Zydeco meets jazz meets Beach Boys meets Sammy Davis Jr. Like, it was bizarre.
It was amazing. And anyone could enjoy that. Like, you don't have to be a drinker to enjoy that. You don't have to like Guinness to enjoy that. It was just a cool place.
It was very
Sounds
cool.
fun.
It was
It
cool.
was
How
very.
many stories was that building?
It was like 6.
Wow.
Like, you just kept, like, when you followed the exhibits around, it just kept moving you upstairs and moving you upstairs to, like, this big, like, top floor bar where you could get your picture superimposed on the Guinness head, the foam.
Yeah.
You could get your picture on a head of
Yeah.
Guinness. It was amazing. It was so much fun. I liked the Jameson tour was a lot like that for me too. We talked about
Yeah.
that when we did the Jameson tour. If you go to our YouTube channel, that Jameson tour is actually on YouTube, and that was probably I'm like, why do I sound so funny? And I'm like, oh, because one of my headphones is out. Sorry, I apologize.
You don't sound any different in here.
I know, but it sounds different to me, and I'm like confused because I'm like, the fuck do I sound like right now? And I always get, and that was probably like another thing that I had to get over was the way I sound.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
Me
God.
too.
Okay, so Mike has never seen NCIS,
Oh, my goodness.
which is, I didn't realize. Like, I didn't realize he has never seen, I'm like, how have you never seen the show? Because when I was sick, so that was another thing with the month of April. Like, not only was it finals, but like I fought being sick from the time we got back from vacation until the end of the month. I fought being sick. And there were a couple of days where I couldn't even get off the couch. And so that's what I did. I started at episode 1, season 1.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my gosh.
Because it's on Netflix. And I realized I've never seen season 1.
I have also not seen season 1.
I didn't realize. I'm like, where's Ziva? I need Ziva. And McGee's not even there. And I'm like, what? This is so weird. But then I was like, well, this is good. So I'll watch it. And Mike was watching it with me. And he's like, yeah, I've never. And I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. So a couple of things happened. I saw the very first Gibbs head slap. He hits DiNozzo in season 1, episode 5. It's the very first occurrence of the Gibbs head slap. I was very excited about that. And then there was this episode with this blind girl that gets abducted, and with her and her mother get abducted. And then as a show of faith, they let her go. And this little girl can hear things that most people can't hear. She's a piano player and she's deaf, so her hearing is different. And she talks about, and so when Abby is trying to change because the kidnapper's voice is distorted in the phone calls or whatever, she's like, the reason you think you hear yourself, you sound different when you're recorded is because you do. There's something about the thing where the high, like there's a high hertz and a low hertz that's canceled that doesn't pick up. Like, so you really do sound different.
Yes.
And so I was like, fuck, that's what it is. Like,
Yeah.
that's why I feel like I sound so different. And that's why I was like, oh, well, that was very good. And then there was a part of it too that I wanted to record and show you, and I wanted you to watch, Reba. because Farnell comes in, the douchebag FBI guy. He comes in and he's talking to Gibbs about something, and he's like, and Gibbs is working on his boat. And he's like, how do you breathe? Like all this sawdust. And he's like, I just don't breathe, or something like that. And Farnell goes, well, do you have something to wash it down? And he goes, in the cabinet next to the paint stripper. And so he gets it and he looks at the bottle. He goes, who even drinks bourbon anymore? I'm like, bitch, I knew I didn't like you. Like, I knew I didn't like you. I didn't like you. And then so he goes to drink it and he goes, do you got glasses? And I'm like, so, all right, FBI guy.
No
First,
shit.
you're like, who drinks bourbon? Now you need a glass.
Tip that shit back.
To which Gibbs looks at him and he's like, what do you drink out of? Gibbs like, my coffee mug. And Farnell grabs the coffee mug. Gibbs pulls it back. He goes, I drink out of my coffee mug. He says, you either find a glass or drink it out of the bottle. I'm like, see, that's why Gibbs is so much cooler than everybody else. But I wanted you to see that. It was so much fun. It was so much fun.
Oh.
I do, bitch. I'm like, are you serious right now?
No
Like, you're
kidding.
supposed to be some, like, badass FBI guy. And you just got punked in a whole bunch of different ways.
Different ways, yes.
So,
I don't even want to stop to count them.
I know. I was like, this is crazy. So, anywho, bright ideas, Bitches in Bourbon Universe. I've had one. So, over the last, 3 months, my bar got amazingly thin. So, I went to the liquor store to try to, like, refill it.
It ain't no more.
It's not thin anymore. But while I was there, I noticed that there were a couple of bottles that we've had before that we really enjoyed, and that they were part of a collection. And so instead of buying different bottles that we haven't had before, I bought a bottle that we had before and their accompanying line.
We're going to get fucked.
We are going to do responsible taste testing comparisons.
Bitch, we're at home.
And so what we have coming for you this summer is we have the Redwood Empire. And so we had one of their bottles, really liked it. And so we got some of those. The High West, we ended up at a bar in downtown Savannah, Moonrights. Is that what it's called?
Oh yeah,
Have
that's
you
a
been
fun
there?
one.
Oh,
Yeah.
and it's a good time.
It is.
And so they had a bunch of different High Wests.
They had all three.
And Reba and
Yeah.
I tried all of them, really liked them. So I got a couple of those. Then the Rabbit Hole, I think I've got 3 of those.
Yes.
And then I think with the bottle Reba has, because Reba has the original Penelope.
Yes. Yep.
And
5.
yes, we have 5 Penelopes. I'm really, really looking forward to that Penelope episode.
Yeah. We enjoyed the Penelope night at Bourbon Club.
We really, so
That's when we got to try the Architect for the first time.
and the Architect so far is my favorite, but the Architect is the only one up there that I've had before. So the Toasted Cat, I don't think we've had. I don't think any of those were
I can't
at.
see what the one behind. Oh no!
No, so see,
Wait. We have had the toasted.
no. Remember, he said
Your brother had it the one night.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, because
That's
yeah.
That's right.
And
Okay,
we were
so
not impressed with that one as much.
but we haven't found a toasted bottle that we have been impressed with.
no, because was it Basil Hayden's toasted?
Yes, was a complete
was also-
disappointment.
yeah.
Complete disappointment, especially for the way we hunted it.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Maybe it wasn't that one. Maybe I'm thinking of Basil
Hayden's
toasted.
Yeah, because I didn't buy the Basil Hayden's toasted.
Right. I knew that your brother had gotten it.
Right.
I couldn't remember though. Maybe I'm thinking of the Basil Hayden's.
We're gonna
toasted and not
pretend
that one.
We're gonna pretend
that
like
we
you-
haven't had that.
Yeah,
one.
we're gonna pretend like we didn't have that one
I'm
because
cool with
I'm super hopeful. Because as far as I'm concerned, Penelope can do no wrong.
Yeah.
From anything I've ever had from Penelope has always been delicious. As a matter of
Is
fact,
the Architect the only one that's overproof?
Architect is overproof. I do not know if it's the only one over there.
It's 100.
That's overproof.
94. Ooh, 105.
So no, it's not the only one.
And it's not the highest. This one's 104. This one's 105.
So the Architect's 104.
Yes.
Which one's
the
105?
Toka cask finish.
Yeah, so I'm super excited about the Penelope episode. So that's what's coming to you guys this summer. Hopefully this episode will be out fairly quickly. Why? Because bitches, I don't have no more schoolwork to do. I graduate on Tuesday.
I have a graduation bottle that I think that we should do an episode on first.
I would love that. I am a proud recipient of any graduation bottles anybody wants to send me. Like, I'm super looking forward to it. If somebody has a flask in the parking lot when I get done, that would be great
I
too.
would. Of course I would.
So after graduation on Tuesday, I did decide to take the summer off. I start the master's
You want it
program in the
before
fall.
the parking lot?
Ooh, fun times.
Are you riding with us? We haven't figured all that out yet. You haven't figured all that out yet. We'll figure it out.
But that part doesn't matter.
Well, I don't want to fall going across the stage,
I'm
right?
talking
Like, so I'm just a little
beforehand.
nervous. I'm just a little
Not
nervous.
just a little
bit.
beforehand. I'm talking about just before you get to the parking lot.
Oh, I'm sure.
That's
I'm
all I'm
sure.
asking.
Well, I do have to go back there for my master's program. So, like, I don't want to, like, get thrown
I
out.
promise you will not act a fool.
All the higher ups are gonna see it.
You will not have that much from the time that you are done to the time that you make it to the parking lot.
Here's the really fun thing is I've become so high profile at that college that everybody already knows.
Yeah, I was gonna say like half of them listen to the fucking podcast.
Yeah, when I got an email,
true.
I got an email from a dean of a certain college, and he roundaboutly referenced to something I had said in the podcast,
I know exactly who you're talking about.
and
too.
I was like, well, there's that,
I ain't got to worry about that one.
and I'm just fine with it. Oh, we're gonna pause because Hannah's never seen my clock.
Yes.
oh my gosh, that's pretty epic.
Isn't that amazing? Every hour it does that. And used to, we would have to figure out how to like work it into the podcast because it does it every hour.
Nice.
And now we've just gotten to the point where we just pause and we just wait. But since you, darling, have never seen it before,
Yes.
then we will remind Podcast Universe about my most exceptional crazy face clock that moves all around in the Swarovski crystals. Just do what it does. And
So does the hand never move?
no, the hand moves, but it's 6 o'clock. So
yep.
so on the hour, the whole face pulls apart into sections
Starts dancing
and
then
twirls
comes
around.
back together.
Yeah, and just
Pretty cool.
yep, here it goes. It comes back together right now. Yep, and it's got a little switch in the back to where you can change the music.
For Christmas.
So for Christmas, it plays
Oh.
Christmas music. Yeah, it's pretty great.
That was the selling point, the Christmas music.
Actually, I didn't even know it
Not
did
the
that.
spinning face, just the Christmas music.
Christmas music. And then it just goes back to where it was. And it stays like
That's
that
pretty
for another
cool.
hour.
It stays like that for
That's
another.
pretty
It
cool.
stays like that. Stays like that for another hour.
Does that have a little carousel at the bottom too?
Yes, that's the little Swarovski crystal
Nice.
carousel. All right, so
I think that's the second hand.
until Tuesday, I have to be fairly productive. So tomorrow, I have the medallion ceremony, so I have to do that. And then Tuesday,
What time is that?
I have to be there at 1:45.
Okay.
You can go if you want to.
No, I'm just trying to
I'm just saying you can
figure
go.
out how productive you really have to be between.
Well, I've got to. Well, I mean, you know,
We could do
I would
another,
rather.
We could do another episode tomorrow night.
Oh
You
my
ain't
God.
got shit on Monday.
I got to get my nails did.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm walking into
You-
graduation like dripping. I'm like, what?
Bitch, you can get your nails done with a hangover.
That's true. It wouldn't be the first time that's happened.
Yeah.
But tomorrow, like the medallion ceremony, is probably a bigger deal.
In graduation?
Yes.
Almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost.
No, I would agree with you because those
More
are the people that are
individualized.
in your, well, those are the people who show up to that are in your honors group. Like you're going to know all those faces and they're going to talk about you more in detail than they would at the graduation. So,
Because Hannah was an honor student as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
I told you. Please, if you don't have smart friends, go get you some. Like, if you're the smartest person you know, go find more friends.
Yeah, when I was doing my master's graduation, I was more interested in just the department ceremony than the whole school ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Whoa.
I don't need the whole school Diamondback Stadium
Right.
bullshit. Like,
Right, like you're
that's
sitting
a
there in
little too much.
graduation.
Like, I don't want to fucking sit there that long.
You're sitting there in graduation and you're like on your phone like that's the 15th person I don't even know. That's the 20th person I don't even know.
Well, especially whenever your degree like was
Yeah.
all online. You go
yeah.
to graduation in person, but you never saw a face.
Mm-hmm.
It's so.
But in
yes.
all fairness, that wasn't your first graduation either.
was not.
See,
It
this
was
is
not.
my
Oh,
very this
yeah,
is
no,
my
no,
very
no,
very.
yeah,
I've done.
yes.
I'm in like all the things. Like I
Yes.
want to do all the things.
I've had more graduations than I care to mention.
It is true. So what I am moving to, because we
I'm
always
proud
try
of
to
them.
be,
Don't get me wrong.
you
but
should be. You should be. As
I
a
don't
matter
need
of fact,
another one.
Like you just finished another course of study, which is super fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm
like I'm telling you, get yourself smart friends. All right. So in the interest of bitches and bourbon transparency, I am not doing anything super interesting today. What I am doing is opening up this daily drinker. We have this that you can hear it. Thank you. Look at Hannah. Hannah comes in the clutch with a thing to break the seal. I love that. So we're just opening this handle-sized bottle of Woodford Reserve, because Woodford
Nothing
Reserve.
exciting.
But it is though, because like if we think about like all of our shenanigans,
Yep.
like Woodford Reserve kind of stands out as like one of our best shenanigans
Stories.
ever.
Yes.
Right? I don't remember where we were. Was it Perry?
Carolina.
Okay, so it doesn't really matter. We were someplace on the planet,
Like 4 hours away.
4 hours away for this paintball tournament.
Yes.
So fun.
Yes. So, yeah. So, my brother and my husband play competitive paintball,
I knew this.
and we have to travel.
Oh.
It's really like herding cats, right? Like I was never like a travel baseball mom. I assumed that it's something like
Similar,
this,
yes.
except for with booze,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
We're of age.
Yeah, it's a bunch of
And not having to monitor those that aren't.
Yeah, but I mean, it really is like herding a bunch of 15-year-olds with bank accounts,
Yes.
right? Like it's exponentially harder,
Yes.
I believe. But the fun thing is Reba and I have set expectations when we go,
As needed.
right?
Bitches
Needed.
and bourbon meets paintball.
Bitches and bourbon meets paintball. So we go, and it was. I think was that the day that Mike decided he was going to buy a paintball field, so I started drinking at 9.
Yes.
So it wasn't even my fault,
Yes.
right?
9 a.m.
My husband decides
As he's never even played before, he's recuperating from
shoulder surgery.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
But
He's
he's
never even shot a paintball gun.
never played. But he now has this huge idea that we're going to buy like 100 acres somewhere.
He's sponsoring a team and buying a field.
And we're gonna build like we are what's the Field of Dreams? We are gonna be the Field of
Yes.
Dreams for paintball.
Found out that he can get all the stuff he needs from a tournament type. Oh yeah, it was like huge.
Take
talk.
the phone away.
Way too early.
It was way
oh my
too early for all this
Yes.
craziness. But see, I know my
He
husband.
had a dream.
We opened
did.
the flask
I know my husband.
at 9 a.m.
I know my husband.
Yes, he
I
gets
just
an
let him-
idea.
I just let him go. I
Yeah.
just let him go, and I open a bottle. That's what I do. Same thing happens when we have to fly. Do you want this?
Yeah.
When we have to fly, my husband has flown commercials so often that he is no respecter of the 2 hours. Like when the airline tells you to get there, he's like, "Oh, the plane leaves at 1. I think that if we get there at 12:30, it will be fine.
We'll be good.
There'll be no
fine."
lines. No lines.
He's like, "We'll be
lines
fine.
don't exist.
We'll be fine." But my husband, if you tell him no, you can't do it that way, then instead of 12:30, it becomes 12:45.
Ah.
So
Like,
you just
yes.
don't say anything. So instead, what I do
Sounds
is
so
in the
never
morning,
mind.
like whenever we fly commercial, I pour myself a drink, chill myself right the fuck out, and like if we miss the flight, we miss the flight. Like that's
I'm
not
with you.
These are not my
I'm with
problems.
you.
Like these are not my problems. So I don't even care. So that's how it was when he starts talking about buying this paintball field. I'm like,
Yep.
this is not my problem. I do not care.
I'm not responding other than where's the flask?
I'm opening it.
Right.
I'm opening a bottle, and here we go. So that was it was a Sunday, so that was the last day of the paintball, and so we're driving home, and Reba's like, I have to pee, and so we pull off. And he's like going to a gas station. He's going to a gas station. And we're like,
can I
no,
include the
yeah,
conversation
yes,
about-
do please.
It
like
was fun.
we're trying to talk to each other privately
Via text.
via text, like
In the car.
in the vehicle.
Nice.
I'm like, do you think I could get him to stop at a bar? And she's like, you need to ask because I know I'll get a no, but you might be able to pull it off. I'm like, I gotta pee. Can we stop somewhere that has a bar.
Nice.
He pulls off the interstate.
It worked?
Into the Ruby Tuesdays.
No.
Yes. We roll in. We roll in. We order 4 Woodford doubles and hit the bathroom.
Oh my god.
Come back out. Our doubles are lined up on the
We
thing.
shoot it.
The guys walk in and they're like, "The fucker, what?"
You're like, we just used the bathroom.
And the bartender's going,
What the fuck? Just
"What is going on
happened?
right now?" And we're like, "Boom, we're
You know
in."
he's talking about that.
And I'm like, all right, because I told him, I said, we're halfway through the ride. Can we stop for really quick?
And we're good, and it was fun.
And then we made it the rest of the way home.
No, we drove through the drive-through at Jeff's Beverage, and they had a Jack Gold.
Yes, to pick up to bring home.
And
I'm
then
just
we-
saying though that we didn't have to stop for another drink.
No,
to
we stopped for a
consume
whole bottle.
but we did not open it until we got home.
No, because that'd be illegal.
Right.
Right. We are.
We obey the law.
We are.
and we did not drive at all that day.
We did not.
So-
we were straight passengers.
We were along for the
That's
ride.
the way to do a long ride,
that
though.
we created.
So it was really funny. So when we went to Ireland, not only was I the oldest student in the cohort, if my oldest daughter had gone, my oldest daughter would have been
The next
the
oldest.
oldest student in the cohort. And so
It was a unique group.
it was
for
so
sure.
great. We had so much fun.
Oh yeah.
But so Hannah and I find out that we're roommates, and we're very happy about that because we're looking around the room.
Yeah, the other options.
And well, no, there was only one.
oh,
There
I
was-
already know. Yeah,
There was only
oh,
one because
yes.
you could see
No, I
everybody
already
else.
know.
Oh, yeah.
See
Exactly who you're talking about.
The air was thick.
with anticipation.
Who's gonna get her? Oh,
Like,
no.
I was like,
Did
oh
you
my
hear
God.
this story? She was originally with me.
Yeah, yes, I
but-
did.
mhm.
They took care of us. Yes, they took care of us.
We
Y'all
had good
got
professors.
lucky.
Yes,
Y'all
we have
got
great
lucky.
professors. So we're looking around the room, and you can see where the pairs are, like people that already know each other that are going. And I'm like, I don't know anybody here.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were like, okay, you're with Hannah. And I'm like, well, that's good because y'all would have been real pissed off when I rented my own room.
Yeah.
Because that's not happening.
Yes.
So then it's me and Hannah, and we start to get to know each other, and we spend a week on campus together, going through the Savannah side of the Irish history. And so that's when Hannah and I kind of get to know each other. We start talking and all these other kind of things. And so when we're getting ready to go to Ireland, and we're on the plane, or we're getting ready to get on the plane, and I'm like, well, what are you looking forward to? She goes, well, I need you to do something for me. I said, well, what do you... Sure. Like, what do you need? She goes, I need you to teach me to drink.
Yes, I love it. I love that story.
I was like, what? She goes, well, not. She goes, would you teach me about whiskey? I said, I would be more than happy to
Yes.
teach you about whiskey.
I turned 21 like a couple weeks before we left for Ireland.
Yeah.
I think. So
Perfect
it was
timing.
like the timing was like
Perfect.
Yes.
perfect.
And in Ireland,
Couldn't
it
have
was
been.
It's
8
younger,
it's
so I would have
18.
been fine either
You'd
way.
been fine.
Still.
But
But we had to have our passports.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you had to carry when you went into a bar, was you had to
That
show
was
your
your ID.
passport. That was your
Yep.
ID. Like,
Yeah.
you couldn't have a driver's license. Like, they like, well, not me.
did
No.
you get ID?
Never. Do I ever? Oh, and then we went to that one
Only
after.
if someone next to you is getting ID and they're like, oh, obligation, I gotta ask you too.
No, they don't do that in Ireland. They don't give a
No.
shit. No, they really don't
It's
care.
really by looks, 100%.
Yeah, they really don't care. But then there was that one after hours place. Did you go with? You went with us to the place that
There's
was
a couple.
the lunch place
Oh,
that
yeah, like
turns
closed,
into the club.
and then yeah.
And then they have like the lattice fence that's the smoke porch.
Yes.
And then like somebody will get in with an ID and they'll pass their ID
Down
through
the
the
line.
lattice. And then they'll come through their ID and they'll come through and they'll fish the
That's
ID
funny.
out the line. And we're watching.
And it's obvious. It's not even like
It wasn't
Like, they don't
even
even
slick.
look similar to each other. Or...
It wasn't even slick. No, it wasn't. It wasn't even slick. I was like, I'm going.
and it was the only one. It was the only one
Like
that was there.
That did that?
Yeah.
Well, it was like the only one that was open that late.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
so everybody went.
Gotcha.
because
Regardless.
Wexford closes. Like Wexford is a sleepy little
Close
cute.
that. It's like 7.
It's so great. It's weird though because you can't get coffee until
can't
like
get-
9.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Like the coffee, like
How do you go to
People
bed so
open
early
people
and not-
open whenever they want to and close whenever they want to. It literally was hours.
Gotcha.
and they're like, we love you, you love us, you don't care. Like we do it, like we're living our best life. We're not really sure what you're doing, but this is what we're doing.
Is it all similar to like how Key West feels?
No.
No?
It's like it's hard to it's like Mayberry with booze. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
like it
It's like a small, quaint town, but every third shop is a bar that only opens for like 4 hours out of the day.
And it might be 4 hours that are different from the bar.
And then there's the one-
3 doors down.
Yep, and then there's the one
Hey,
bar.
that's how to do it. Hey,
It was
that
great.
makes sense though.
But
Like,
it's interesting.
If y'all are like within like 3 doors of each other, how smart would that be? Of we'll set these times and only consumers can go to these locations during that time. Like,
They knew what they're doing.
yeah, that's pretty smart.
It was fantastic. We had the best time. I think my biggest accomplishment in Ireland though was I never ate the same place twice. Ever.
That's awesome.
I did.
I
but
never
that's
did.
because I got COVID.
Oh God, that's right. I forgot.
Oh,
I
yeah.
felt so bad. So there was a brief period of time where
Yes,
Hannah
I
was not my
remember.
roommate.
Yeah.
Oh, I felt so bad. I felt so bad.
It was actually quite fun because I luckily wasn't the only one with COVID. So I got a roommate.
But you weren't even sick.
yeah, no sick, no
just tested
asymptomatic.
It was terrible.
We had
I
crazy.
felt terrible. I felt terrible. Like I was like, you can stay here. I don't care. Like, but they were like, but
She was already over it way before
Yeah.
that Ireland
Yeah.
trip ever occurred.
I think all of us were over it. I think it was just protocol.
Yes.
Like, I don't even think the professors really cared that much, to be honest. Maybe 1 or 2 of them did.
which is how the whole thing started.
Yeah.
But I'm
Yeah.
not getting into
Yes.
that because I
Nope.
love Georgia Southern and they did
Yep.
everything right.
Yeah.
They did.
I love Georgia Southern.
Yes.
They did everything right.
Right. That's not the focus.
Yeah. But I was like, I would punch you in the fucking face. Like if I had ended up with COVID and
Yeah.
I knew how all that started, I would have like, Anyway.
Yes.
Anyway.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Anyway, moving on.
Don't kill my buzz.
I know, right? No. That always amps mine up, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
y'all gonna make, like I get all DMX and shit. Like, y'all gonna make me lose my
mind
up in here. Like, and it's so bad. Okay, so I don't know why this made me think of it, but it did. Have you seen Cat Williams talk about dating a WNBA player?
Oh, maybe not that.
Oh God, it was the funniest shit on the planet. He was like, but he was on a maybe it was Jimmy Fallon. It was one of those kinds of shows.
Late night type.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it wasn't like
A whole thing.
and it wasn't like get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Cat Williams, right?
Yeah.
It was just
a little more
low key, which
Yeah.
I've never seen before, which added, I think,
surprising as
which
well.
added to the novelty,
Yes.
I believe.
Okay.
But Cat Williams is talking about how he had dated a WNBA player, and it was hilarious because he was like, it was really cool because the height thing really didn't matter in the relationship.
Because he's
Gosh.
not very tall.
No.
At all.
No. As a matter of
The height
fact,
thing.
hold on. How tall is
my gosh.
Cat Williams? Cat Williams is 5'5".
He's the same.
I am 2 inches taller than Cat Williams. And this fucker is dating a WNBA player. But he's like, so it wasn't that big. It was really cool because it really wasn't that big of a deal in the relationship. He goes, but I got to be honest with you, it's weird. He says, because it's still like you're holding your mom's hand in the mall.
Oh.
He goes, and then she just like picks me up and kisses me.
Oh,
He goes, and it
just keeps going.
He goes, it's just weird. He goes,
That's
it's
a
just
little
weird.
too much.
It's just weird. I love him. Like,
Just been down on my level, bitch.
like there's like I'm sure there's funnier people on the planet. I'm at a loss off the top of my head to name one. I'm sure there's somebody. I don't know who that is. Speaking of being funny, do you remember when I told you? You don't know.
No.
So for one of my classes this semester, I had Shakespeare.
Yes.
Are you familiar?
Yes.
So, my final paper
Yes.
was where I argued that Horatio is a figment of Hamlet's imagination,
Wow.
just like the ghost is. Right? Like Hamlet
Cool.
is like Horatio is not real, that he is a part of Hamlet's complicated grief.
Yes.
Right? And
That's a cool take.
And that Hamlet completely conjures him as a source of comfort in all of this.
Mm-hmm.
And so I write my opening paragraph, I do my thesis. The very next paragraph says, first, let me confront the Mr. Snuffleupagus in the room. I got my grade back on that paper today.
Yeah.
It's an A+.
Yes. Yes.
Did you have to cite Sesame Street?
I didn't. Because it wasn't really a citation, right? It was more of an illusion. Right? It was more of an allusion to the imaginary,
Yeah.
which, let me be very, very clear, I do not think that Mr. Snuffleupagus is imaginary, and I will fight you about that. Mr. Snuffleupagus is real. He has his very own... yeah, I will... Oh, my God. Y'all missed it. Reba just did the, elephant trunk fighter, and she balled her trunk up into a fist, and now I'm afraid. I think I'm calling the... I need a restraining order. Oh, this is ridiculous. This has been so much fun, y'all. I don't know that we've imparted anything useful today, except for...
It totally focused on the whole point of our recommendations.
Yeah, I love
Yes.
that. I
Don't
love
take
that.
it too seriously.
Don't take it too seriously, and I think that's how we always kind of do life. I think that we're going to be very excited. If you have not tried the Redwood Empire, actually, let me do that again. If you have, this is a great time for that.
Advertising and
Yeah, if you've done the Redwood Empire, if you've done the High West, if you've done the Rabbit Hole or the Penelope, if you have any thoughts about that, we'd
wanna
love to hear
join
them.
for that episode.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get here in time, right?
Yeah, I guess it depends on when this
when we
airs
record,
and,
and all that. Well, I hope because I know it's cool. Cheers. So hopefully this episode will get out fairly quickly. But yeah, if you have any thoughts about that, we'd love to hear them. I do not start back school until August, at which point it becomes even crazier than it is it has been before. But we will still continue to do our very best.
Yes.
However, we always look forward to talking to folks. Hannah,
Yes.
it has been a pleasure.
It has
you
been
for
so much
joining.
fun.
You and I
Yes.
will have to tell you, I find you to be a complete natural.
Yes.
Oh, good.
I think you
Good.
would do just fine.
I
Especially
talk.
if it's in your comfort,
Absolutely.
something you love to talk about.
Absolutely.
You have no problem at all.
Perfect.
Well, you know what's funny though is so when we did the research in Ireland, we had to
yeah.
give presentations, and Hannah was always very natural. Although none of us quite hit the Callie level.
Okay, given the timeline.
Wait a minute, what?
Callie was a crowd pleaser. So Callie is like
That's her
this
thing.
Wafy, long braid, fairy nymph looking like
That is 100% accurate.
Thank you. Like she's just like she's always fresh faced.
Yeah.
She's main character energy.
She
is
really
what.
I like.
She's
okay.
main fairy energy. Like there's a human main character.
Yes.
And Callie is like the main fairy.
And the way she talks, the way she moves, 100% everything about her
Just
is that way.
graceful
It's
and-
not just her looks. It's like 100%.
she's just she's everything is very airy, and her eyes are always bright and open, and she's always so excited.
She's the
Crowd
most
pleaser.
pure,
It's
crowd
most pure
pleaser.
soul.
crowd
I'm
pleaser.
a horrible public speaker.
Like you cannot watch Callie and not be thrilled that you are watching her. I guess what I want to say before closing is yes, Callie is a crowd pleaser. However, natural. Absolute natural. Like it's been amazing. Like you
Yes.
you
to
showed
find
up
today and to put it in your ballpark.
for real. Because like this is like what we do here isn't even your jam.
No.
And you still just slid right in and was and you were absolutely perfect. Like
Awesome.
absolutely we would love to have you back.
Yes.
I might come back.
I would love that.
And-
We would love that. All right, speaking about going back and doing it again, we will keep going back and doing it again all night long because I love talking to you ladies.
Yes.
So we won't do that anymore. Instead, I'll say thank you so much, Hannah.
Thank you for having me.
I cannot
We
wait.
are always here.
I
Yay.
cannot wait to hear what it is you do next.
Oh, absolutely.
Until the next time.
Solanches. Thanks for hanging out with Ape and Reba on this episode of Bitches and Bourbon.
Make sure to check out the links in the show notes, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Until next time, here's to bad bitches and good bourbon. Cheers.
I mean, you have to like spicy pickle.